Golden?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm Ashley. Well, that didn't work very... Oh, maybe it did.
I'm Ashley. And I'm Sadie.
Why did yours work so much better? Give me that.
It's like a hard inhale.
Go.
Did it work? Not really. Why did
Oh,
you
yes,
sound... You're not as good as Sadie, though. Like, you sounded like Alvin in the Chipmunks.
Because I think your voice is deeper to begin with.
Oh, that's true.
I also
Nice
have
voice.
a lot of experience in the helium balloon talking department, so I know do a sharp, hard inhale.
So
Oh,
what?
well, I'm an ex-smoker. You would think I would know how to inhale out of all of you.
It's different.
This is what happens when one of the children have a birthday party. We get
Yeah.
into their helium.
And all three of us are finally together.
Yeah,
That's a party in itself.
Yeah. We had
But
a
no
leftover.
coffee. Not yet.
No, we sent my husband out for coffee. Well, yeah, we had leftover helium in the helium
Helps
tank.
Jared to the rescue.
Yeah, and so Jared bet us that we wouldn't do a helium intro for coffee, and clearly
I will do anything for coffee.
accurate.
Yes,
Here we are.
Very accurate.
Anyway, hi, hello, welcome back to this.
It's been many moons.
It's been
Yeah.
87 years.
Titanic, yeah. Yep.
Anyway, we're gonna finally do our Titty Talk, aftermarket, all things.
Yes.
I'm so excited. I love boobs.
Nelson. Nelson, I love boobs.
I do. I'm a boob person. I
Uh,
like butt too, but I like boobs.
yeah, more of
I
a
do.
good butt.
Yeah.
Like a good butt, but not
I
like
think-
the implant butt, because you would definitely call it
Right,
implant butt.
right.
Speaking of, so side quest already over the week. Well, our last competition,
Yep. Because where were you guys?
Missouri.
a little bit of background.
Yeah, St. Charles.
St. Charles.
St.
Okay.
Charles. Yep. There was a gal that had a BBL, and oh man, it looked terrible. It was not good. No, it wasn't good.
Do you remember? It was not this last Olympia. I believe it was last year's Olympia. One of the wellness competitors. I won't say her name. Not like she's gonna listen, but you know.
But if she does,
She was pretty much more or less called out by Sandy, and she ended up very, very bottom. And kind of the message that was sent, and not the exact words, obviously, was like, "We are not going to award."
Implants. This is
it's
body
different, right?
building.
Yeah, it's different if like you have
breast implants,
because that's not what you're being.
You can't
judged
really
on.
grow that,
right? But
Yeah.
if you're having like a surgery on the body part that's getting judged,
Yeah.
you know, that's
Like calf
not
implants,
okay.
or like men's like muscular like pec implants, or
They
stuff
do
like that.
The fuck?
Okay, yeah.
Or like you can have like surgery implanted like abs, a six pack. Oh yeah, dude.
You can have your ribs broken to make your waist smaller. You can, yeah.
Yeah.
Can you
Straight up.
imagine?
Who was that?
The fuck? Are we trying to Marilyn Manson this
There
shit
you go,
or
Marilyn
what?
Manson.
Did she do that?
No, Manson, not
Oh,
Monroe.
Marilyn Manson.
Monroe.
No, okay. I'm not even gonna have to say this because you guys probably. Do you know the rumor back then about Marilyn
Yeah, it was
Manson?
No.
so he could suck his own bits.
Ew.
Yeah.
Gross.
It wasn't true, but
Huh.
Yeah.
So anyway, so she had a BBL.
it was very
Clear.
noticeable too.
Gosh.
Yeah, very. I think.
Well, when
Was
you
she
have to
bikini?
get that lean, for your division, depending what division
Which
you're in.
sucks because upper body wise, she looked great.
Mhm.
She looked great, but then like she would like squat down and do her like glute pulses or whatever. I don't know, whatever. It was moving, and I'm like, that's just creepy. I don't like BBLs. I have never once seen
I
a
don't
good
either.
BBL.
I don't either.
They don't look
They're
good.
just so obvious, but some could argue and be like, yeah, but some breast implants are so obvious. But I'm
Right.
with you on there. There's something, I don't know.
It just, like you said, there you can definitely have like unproportioned like breast implants, yes, but I still would argue, within reason, like they're not as bad as like a bad butt implant. Like a bad glute implant, it's just,
It's so distorted.
it's like you have no, like especially on like the like baby bird legs, like
Yeah,
where you're like,
that's
okay,
a clear indication.
Right. How do you have glutes like that, but like you have no leg
hammy,
development?
no quads.
Yeah, because even if you're not
nothing.
like focusing on your quads, for example,
it's still
you're-
part of it. Yeah,
it's still part of the structure that got you to the glute in the first place.
you're gonna have at least
an accessory.
some muscular definition. bare minimum.
Weird. So did this girl do well?
No.
Was
She got
that
knocked.
brought up? Okay.
Yeah.
That was, and I think good for judges for being like, if it's the body part that you are being judged on, we're not going to tolerate corners like that.
Yeah.
I think it would be a different story if it was like fitness, figure, women's physique, or women's bodybuilding. Kind of.
Glutes aren't the focus.
Yes, glutes are
Right.
not the focus within those divisions. So I
Right.
think you might be able to get away with it because you're not doing the back pose like a wellness or bikini girl, or I guess now fitness, to
Or
where
no,
they're actually looking at your glutes. But they are starting to look more at the glutes for fitness and figure.
The other higher
I
divisions.
heard
yeah.
that. Maybe it was you guys telling me that
I
with
think
figure.
probably because I think we were both talking.
Yep.
Yeah, because
Because that's
one
the
of
only reason why I'm starting to
Yeah.
incorporate.
Now, do they want
Glutes.
separation?
I think
Or
they
do they
just,
just
wanted
want-
a more proportioned look because I know that's one of the things like we're trying to hit and build, and I think you mentioned too like just more of that upper shelf on the glute as well because I don't have
So-
that really.
Sid Gillen, I mean, naturally, I think genetically she has glutes anyway because of her,
Well,
ethnic
she's
background.
black.
Right.
Black people have amazing glute structure.
And so,
They
do you think that's part of it, where they look at her as what has been the kind of figure standard, and if they're like, okay, well, Sid has glutes, but like the rest of the lineup really didn't, did that set her apart, or do you think it's irrelevant?
Well, I think a lot of the pros have really good glute quality. Like Lola Mendez, the one that I follow, she has great
Yeah.
glutes.
And just kind of like that nice like
Like the evolving
shape.
of the,
Yeah,
of
because
the-
I see a lot in like the lower divisions. And again, especially speaking for myself, like I've got like glutes, but they're not shaped. They're not, like when I get super
Hard.
lean, like they're not like a nice, like
kinda
glute
get-
structure
Right.
shape.
They kind of look more boxy. I feel like
Yes.
in a figure pose, unless
Yeah.
you're posing just right and you've done the work on the detail.
Yeah, and
They
I
kind of
think
have like a box, almost like a weird,
yeah,
ugly butt.
I think they're almost trying
You
to
know
like
what I mean?
you said, make
saggy,
it, make it more
tighter.
yeah, proportioned and just overall better look.
Aesthetically,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I personally don't think BBLs are attractive. I have never, again, once seen a good BBL. I think they all look like crap, but that's just my personal opinion.
Do you think, because I think this, with like national shows going on and not a whole lot of pro shows going on, I mean, do you think we're getting to a period of time where you have to do something aesthetically in order to stay in the chase?
Are you
So I
talking
mean,
as
like-
far as
like
like drug wise?
aftermarket and
Just
Or-
anything, like
Perfect.
anything that's not your own, whether it's BBLs or breast implants or
Hair
fillers or Botox
fillers.
or extensions. Do you think we'll ever be to a place again where someone is competing? Because even hair extensions, I would say majority of bikini.
Oh,
just
absolutely.
because I'm most familiar with that, they're all wearing hair extensions. That's
I would
not
say
natural.
a lot of divisions wear hair extensions.
Yeah,
As far as like
I think we
jewelry,
should get up in like
Like
thick physique and
You see more
women's
short.
bodybuilding. I'd say you see less on that side. I think figures kind of a mix.
what do you
I don't know,
blends?
because a lot of times when you get into women's bodybuilding, they're going to be stacked on a lot of drugs, which is going to cause hair loss.
and
Yeah.
you
So they probably do wear hair extensions.
More
We just don't
hair,
know
wig,
about it.
stuff like that.
And
Yeah,
it
I
says
don't
in the
know.
criteria, again, I don't know much about other divisions, but they say they want your skin to look a certain way, they want your hair to look healthy, they want your,
I
your
think-
makeup. Like, what would we all look like if we all, as a whole, if it's not naturally yours, you can't have it. Imagine what we would all look like,
Like
up
on-
there.
Like on
no
like
lashes.
stage.
Yeah, no
Yeah,
extensions.
Well, I mean, honestly, other than hair, like I change my hair color and I'll do lashes, but as far as when I'm on stage, everything is
all natural.
I don't have anything else. But I'm also pretty low level regional. You know what I mean? Like I'm not I'm not pro level. I'm not, I haven't competed at nationals or anything like that. So
I mean, I was even
I don't know.
picked apart on the pro level for varicose veins.
oh,
So even with the tan, some varicose veins, if they're bulging a little bit, those will still, you can still see those. And that was mentioned
Well, see, and
in
that-
my feedback. And that was really disheartening because I'm like,
That's just
I
what you
can't
can do. Yeah.
But the ironic thing is, I was having issues with them. I was having like pain, and
Mm-hmm.
when I would sit down, like my legs were getting numb, and
I've
so
heard
I
that
ended up
like
getting those
varicose veins are
stripped.
painful.
They were,
especially when you like look at men who are on tren,
mm-hmm.
for example.
And
Their varicose veins get massive. I'm like, doesn't that fucking hurt?
I mean, mine was babies, you know, so
but
mine definitely
still,
wasn't
like,
trend. But it was uncomfortable. But I think it was even more disheartening, where it was like, oh my gosh, like I was like
That's
docked because
Yeah.
my varicosities, like
Where did you have them at? Like your arms or something?
they were like right under the glute, like you can even still see them.
Like the tie-in area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so
which is
and
very
they were
bikini.
yeah, and so they're like zoned in right on that area.
Mm-hmm.
And the sucky part is I got them fixed or stripped. It took away the pain, but it didn't do really much in aesthetically, which is okay, you know. But
I think
now it just kind of looks like a bruise in that area.
Yeah, I would say like a lot of it would be, in my opinion, division dependent. And I think honestly a lot of it has to do just where like society's at. Like, I'm sure that hair extensions were big, you know, way back when. But it's like I feel like I hear about them and know about them way more now. Maybe that's because I'm just that age. It's more, you know, like when I was 16.
Probably
it
didn't
wasn't,
care because
but I didn't care. Yeah, so I guess I don't know. I feel like that's just kind of how society's definitely shifted that way, where it's a lot more. I don't want to say fake because that sounds offensive, but I'm not trying to be offensive. You know,
it is a lot more women are becoming more fake.
And
That's,
I feel like
with
it's
all the
becoming
lip fillers, even cheek fillers. I just found out about that a few weeks ago. I'm like, oh, what?
I've had cheek fillers when I competed.
My
That's so weird.
My coach.
Not saying it's like bad
but
or
like
anything,
if you're
but I'm
not,
like,
a lot of what I found in competing, I never knew. But being in that space and talking to these women that you're like trying to be on stage with, that are all just drop dead gorgeous, and I'm looking at them, and your blinders are on because you're like, okay, these women are like 25, and I'm closer to 40 than I am 35, so. And so I remember just asking, like, well, what do you do? What do you do? And even these like 20-year-olds, they were telling me all about like, do this and do this. And I remember I would get that idea in my head, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do that because it'll make me look like this, which could but no, I was like you, I didn't know a lot about that, but I do think that that's becoming more normalized now too. Like I
see like hair extensions and I'm like, that is gorgeous. Like some of them and I'm like, man.
Or like the tie, they can like sew them in now,
the tie-ins now and stuff. It's a lot, and it's a very, very like you get like good quality. Like one of the girls that does them
though, right?
Yeah, one of the girls that does them around here, I mean, her services are really, really expensive, but it's like an all-day whole like experience thing. And I mean, she does a lot. It's not just, she's not just putting in extensions. Like it's a whole thing, and she's done like schoolings and teachings, and I mean, she is very, very high level, so it is absolutely something that you're getting what you're paying for as far as like her services and skills and stuff. But
how do these like 20-year-olds afford it though?
Yeah, I'm like, man, that's half my house payment.
I saw this gal, and she was kind of like a mutual, like I knew her from competing, but like, you know, not super friends, but I noticed her hair was just gorgeous, and she's like mid-20s, and so I had reached out to her. I was like, oh my gosh, like, what's your hair routine? Because you know me, I'm like always trying to figure out like how to fix my hair, and she told me, she's like, oh, I have 2 rows. I'm like, so it wasn't real. Like, and then I think that was just a good indicator to me, like, I'll watch on social media these like makeup tutorials, because again, I'm like trying to figure out how can I do my makeup, because I suck. And
makeup can be hard.
This one that I watched, she was doing her makeup, and then she was also like doing her hair, and she looked like a drowned rat before she started, by the way. And then she's done, and she looks like crazy. But she
Asians,
said,
man, Asians.
But she said, she's like, I have these, like, I have X amount of rows. I'm like, okay, so her hair's fake too.
Yeah.
So
a lot of what people are
are
seeing on social media, or like pictures, stuff like that, just in general, like you said, it's not. No, it's not real. That person that you're so envious of, that's, you know, your coworker or classmate or whatever it may be, like, yeah, you know, for all they know, you know, they've got different fillers, they've got the fake lashes, they've got, you know, extensions, stuff like that.
And makeup can do so much.
Makeup is...
I'm not knowledgeable in makeup,
oh my
but
gosh.
when I see others,
Yeah.
Well, like I said, Asians, they are the
Oh, I think you
kings
sent
and
us
queens
that
of
video.
fucking shapeshifters, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was
Like, they're so
gnarly.
far above us Americans. Like, I seriously, they are the kings and queens of shapeshifters. I'm gonna stand by that.
Now,
They look flipping good. I'm like, do my makeup, please.
I've complained to you guys, and my daughters could also testify that they were tired of hearing about my hair issues. But I am telling you, either it correlated with stopping competing or it correlated with just maybe some perimenopause stuff. But my hair is such shit since, I don't know, probably the last 3 years. Like,
We've
it
also
breaks
not been
off.
drinking your water, ma'am.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think when I competed, I was healthier because I checked all the boxes: nutrition,
outside
water, supplements.
Outside of prep and stuff like that.
See, I didn't have to cut like you guys did.
Oh, that's true.
You know, and bikini, you don't have to.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to have these big swings.
Oh no, these days, good lord.
But you know what I mean? You don't have to put on. I feel like my work
Yeah.
was already done in the last 25 years. I didn't have to like put on a huge amount of muscle.
Yeah,
nor
you
did
didn't
I
have
have to cut a lot of
bigger
fat.
quote building seasons like Nelson, like you and I do. You know, like Duncan, damn near can step on stage.
But looking a different
We are not
way
there.
for a different division.
Yeah.
But also, I didn't have to put on the added body fat either.
Yeah.
So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, so that's what I mean by I think I was healthier back then. But regardless, my hair, it's horrible. It, like, breaks off, it's brittle.
So
It's
Nelson, you have a whole hair situation that you
I
do.
thought you were gonna say a whole head of hair, in which
You
she
do,
does.
definitely.
It's a lot of hair, people.
Yeah.
Like,
So what is
I got
your?
plenty to go around.
Yeah. I cut mine off because I get too hot. Mine's so thick and curly.
but
And
yours
it's
is
so
thick, yeah.
hot. No.
Girl, do you want to trade?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
actually.
But I would chop it off because it's far too much.
Like, I lose hair, my hair, like my part, my crown, my hairline. It's horrible. Like, I've gotten labs done. I've tried different supplements.
Do you think some of that's genetic, maybe?
It could be. No,
Yeah.
I think I'm always trying to find the magic solution, but no, you're right. A lot of it can be.
Yeah.
My dad, my brother, they all have receded hairlines, and
Yeah. See, like for the most part, my family has pretty decent hair genetics. Like, no one in my family is really gray, which I'm actually kind of upset about because I really want gray hair.
See, I
Mine's
don't-
starting
so
to gray. I'm gonna embrace that
bad.
fucking gray.
I want gray hair so bad. Like, I paid a
Really?
lot of money in my last show to have silver hair. And I was like, this is glorious. So I'm like, I can't upkeep this. Plus, I'm going to go to the pool and I'm going to be green. Like,
I have
Yeah,
grays
gray
come
is
in.
very hard to upkeep.
Mhm.
But
It's
it
very
blends
hard.
well with blonde. So
Yeah.
you wouldn't be able to see in this
just-
light, but I get the really wiry. And I'm kind of embracing that because I'm like, ooh, bring some thickness. Because gray hair is thicker.
It is thicker.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I have a couple that
I'm getting like
I think
curly.
I'm gonna end up with silver.
I was going to say, I
gray
noticed
hair.
some of
Yeah,
your...
yeah. The new growth that I do have is like curly. It's annoying, but I'm thankful for growth. So what do you do for your hair?
Actually, I just switched it up. So before I was doing like a whole scalp treatment. I would
Yeah,
do
so
like
what was
a-
your scalp treatment that you did? Products?
Yeah, walk us
routine?
through. Like,
So-
imagine you've never told us any of this before.
It took me 45 minutes once a month.
But also, preface, you have a lot of hair. So for
Uh,
someone else, it might not necessarily take 45
Or
minutes.
if you have
to say.
shorter hair, yeah.
Yeah.
I have a lot of thick hair, courtesy of my mother and father. I would do a sugar scalp treatment, like a sugar scrub. I would wet it. I would section out my hair, and then I would do a line of sugar scrub, section it out. And
Like
so on
direct
and so
to
forth.
scalp then?
Direct to the scalp.
Okay.
Yep, just like
Okay.
like a sugar scrub for your legs
Body, yeah.
to get the dead skin off. So what that does is it gets all of that dandruff and all that crap off of your
Like
scalp.
the build up.
Yes.
Mhm.
So the healthy scalp and opening up those pores is what's going to help with new and old growth. Because growth starts at your scalp. So you want to have a healthy scalp. So you get all that directly put on your scalp and you scrub the ever living crap out of it. It hurts, but it's a sugar scrub, so it's going to hurt. Not
Now,
like
can
terrible,
you scrub
but
like too hard to where it could be damaging to the follicle, or no?
you could, yes.
Okay.
Yes. I
'Cause
mean,
you
I
tell me
sit there.
hard, and I'd be like, all right.
Yeah, like not
Just-
super hard, just like what you would do with like shampoo and
Okay.
conditioner.
Like a little bit more aggressive.
Yes,
Okay.
just a little bit more aggressive.
Intentional.
Yes. I probably scrub it, gosh, for 30 seconds maybe, and then I'll let it sit. So within that time, I'll like do my body wash or I'll shave something. I let it sit for about like 5 minutes, just so that it's good and in those follicles. Rinse that out, and that takes forever to rinse out because of all the beads and all that.
Do you shampoo or anything before that, or are you getting into that?
No.
Okay.
I get straight into the sugar scrub.
So just raw dog sugar scrub.
Raw dog sugar scrub.
Raw
Dog.
Okay.
Okay.
So when everything is out of my thick ass ginormous hair, I then do 2 rounds of shampoo. So I'll do the first round of shampoo, rinse that out. Do a second round of shampoo, rinse that out. And then I will do a deep condition. So again, I will section out my hair, condition straight to the scalp, let that sit, rinse that out, and then I'll do another round of condition to my roots. Let that sit, and then rinse it out. It's fun.
And then there's no hot water left.
No, not really. Well, I turn the water off.
See,
Like when I'm
even
just sitting there.
Mm.
I was like the backcombing queen. So I
Yes.
used to love as much
The
volume.
big bouffants.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
and I can't do that anymore. There's no hair to do that,
Just not
and
enough.
that makes
And
me
I think
sad.
it's out of style now too. I don't see a whole lot of people teasing their hair a whole lot.
Well,
Do you?
I try, but it won't.
But I guess
hold.
I haven't seen you like all done up like 100%.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
There's just like no volume there. It's frustrating because there's just no. And I've stopped dyeing, like doing any highlights, just to like get my hair break.
Yeah.
So then my natural color is kind of a ashy, mousy blonde, which I don't like.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
This is my natural.
Hence, that's why I'm wearing the hat. I wear hats most of my days.
But you pull off a hat very well.
Yeah.
Oh well, thank you.
Yeah. You're like that cute little like ball cap girl, and I'm like, could be a teenage boy, could be a lesbian. We'll never know.
Yeah. Well,
We'll never know.
Chris cannot pull off hats. No hats, no beanies for
I've
him.
never seen Chris in a hat.
I
He
put
doesn't
one
look
of
like
my.
a hat guy.
No, he looks weird. No.
Jared looks good in a hat. I like a good hat in Jared.
Yep, he looks good in
I
hat.
say my hips like I like him in a hat.
Jared looks good in a hat. Yeah.
Chris
Chris
does
is not a
not.
hat guy.
Mm-mm.
And I
Nope.
don't think
Even
I've
a
ever
beanie,
seen-
he looks fucking weird. I'm like, yeah, nope, take it off. Don't do
It's
it.
kind of like cringy.
Yeah.
He looks weird.
And I love hats just in general.
Me too.
Cowboy hats,
Mhm.
straight brim hats.
Mm-hmm.
See, I don't wear hats very much
I love
anymore just
them.
because I'm trying to. Because hats can cause hair loss.
Oh.
So.
But I think that's
Mhm.
more that I've read. That's more like that's sort of
The
also like
breakish,
like
like
that's
the
why
women.
guys have like the
The bald spot.
the
in the back.
line, yeah, from
Uh-huh.
like the hats and stuff like that.
Yeah, my dad has it. My brother has it,
mhm.
and
Just
you
from it,
continue
like,
to wear
rubbing.
hats.
Slowly removing my hat.
Yeah.
But I think too, like I don't think you don't wear yours super tight though, and I
Oh,
think a
no,
lot of
no.
guys
It's
are
like-
like snug
No,
that
it's
Yeah.
super
dang on.
super loose.
And they're able to constantly like readjust it, so it's
Mhm.
constantly moving. Whereas women, they just put it in that one spot and you're good.
They don't
And
move
it doesn't
it.
move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you do any like oils or serums? Because I do oils and serums.
Yes. So I'll do. Who is calling me? Random number. Don't know who you are. So I'll do a heat treatment oil to my roots only, and then whatever I have left in my hands, I'll just run it through because I don't want a whole lot of oils
Yeah.
near my scalp.
How,
Now, do
how
you rinse it out or do you leave? Is that on dry
I leave it
hair? Okay.
Yeah.
do you do wet or dry for your oils?
Wet.
You do wet,
Right out of the shower.
and then how often do you do those? Like, is it like
Every time.
you do it every time you shower?
Mhm.
Okay.
How
Well, I
often
only-
do you wash your hair?
I was gonna say I only
Or
wash
every
my hair
time you
once a
wash
week.
your hair, yeah.
Once a week.
So technically, you're only doing it once a week then.
Mhm.
Okay.
Do you dry your hair? Or do you let it
Yeah.
stay dry?
Rapid
This
fire.
time of year, I just let it air dry,
Mhm.
just because it's so hot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But in the winter, I'll dry it, blow
dry
dry
it.
it. Yeah.
So for mine, so I have curly hair, so mine's
Mhm.
like.
Oh, mine's naturally
different.
curly.
Yeah,
My
yeah,
parent,
because yours is super curly.
when I bust
too.
my
yeah.
head, my parents and like my entire family, they're like, "I hope it comes back super curly." I'm like, "I hope it fucking doesn't," and it didn't. But
Yeah. No. Me and my youngest both have like that tight like ringlet curls.
the
that's-
curly cues.
Yeah, and that's why I always kept my hair short. Is because curly hair is. I don't know. Everyone wants curly hair except the people that have curly hair because it's just atrocious to deal with.
It depends on the type of curl. Like I feel like
I
the
try to-
back of my head is like that nice beachy wave, but then the
Mhm.
front it's like I can't even describe it. It's
Mine
an
is-
ugly curl.
Mine is all ringlets, and like when it's hot, it gets super like humid and poofy, and it's always frizzy. Like always. That's one of the biggest things I struggle with is like frizz. And so like for me, like I do, and I've got like the wonderful combination skin, so it's dry but it's also oily, and sometimes it's just both at the same time, which doesn't make any sense how it's possible, but it is.
You get a baby fro?
Yes, literally.
Yep.
So that's why it's like
it.
right now, no one can see it, but I have it pulled back a little bit. Otherwise, it's like it's
We
a
do
situation.
need to figure out how to do YouTube videos. We need to figure that out.
Oh no, because then I can't look like a homeless creature.
Well, I mean, fuck it.
I did. I haven't gotten it yet, but I'll have to show you guys. I did purchase. I feel so embarrassed to say this. A little topper. So it's like, imagine like a toupee. Like for men.
Okay.
But it's like a female. I'll show you guys pictures after this. But it's just like a little tuft of hair. And you clip it on the very top of your head. And it just gives you some added fullness to the top.
It's kind of like those old school, like, fake, like, ponies. Or
yes,
pony extensions. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Here, while you guys are talking, I'll pull it up. Because it's cute. It's very discreet. I don't have it.
Well, I feel like a lot of women feel more feminine when they have more hair.
I was like,
you know what I mean?
Devastated, but I
It's
was
kinda
so
like
upset when I
breast
started.
implants. I feel more feminine because I have a masculine face. Ish. I mean, I'm still a woman, obviously, but I have masculine features.
Yeah.
Well,
and I am bigger than the average woman body size.
Well, and you add on muscle, and naturally, if you look at a majority of women who have muscle, they also don't have a lot of breast tissue because your testosterone levels also a lot of times go up, and then muscle plus your subcutaneous fat is different. It's distributed differently too.
Yeah, well, especially if you're on like steroids too, you get in
like that can
the bigger categories: women's physique, women's bodybuilding. You don't see steroids that they're on could possibly take away the breast tissue.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah. So we'll hit the implants and stuff here next. Just want to go through curly hair for all my other curly people out there. Stay strong.
I'm glad mine didn't come back curly after.
Okay. Okay, that's all it is. See, it's like
just
like
a little
just
extra
attaches.
something.
Yeah. Yep, that's all. It's a little mini topper. So when I get it, I will show you guys. I'm really excited.
Yeah. Hair is definitely one where like it can definitely make or break like a woman's day. Like if you have like a bad hair day, like your whole day is just I don't know, like trash. Like it's very like very self-conscious thing. Like I said, it makes you just feel good. You have like a good hair day. You're good like, getting your hair done, or like your classic I broke up, so I'm gonna cut my hair and dye it, and like it's a whole hair can just be a whole thing. Cause
you get pissed off, you take the scissors, and you end up giving yourself a bowl cut.
I used to not have to do much to make my hair look decent. Like I remember it was one of those where I felt very grateful for like having manageable hair, and now it's like we're supposed to do this intro video for this this clinic I work for, and I have yet to do it because I'm like, and I told them, kind of jokingly, I'm like, I'm not gonna do it till I have a good hair day because I'm just so self-conscious about it.
Yes. Yeah. Like my hair's like super curly. That's why I always had short hair because I never knew how to have cute, not afro frizzy curly hair. So I always kept mine short because it was easier to manage. Or I'd like sit there and straighten it. But I'd straighten it, and then like your lovely Iowa summer, it'd be straight until I stepped outside, and then I looked like one of those Barbies you like ratted their hair with, throwing around.
I was listening to this other gal's podcast, and she said they were in Miami, and she said they were out to eat, and this lady had really pretty hair, but she said as the night went on, it was clear that she was wearing extensions because the top half of her hair, because the humidity started curling, and then the bottom half was like stick straight, and she's like, we're sitting there, and we're like, someone's got to go help her. Like someone has got to have her go put her hair up because they felt bad for it, as the night went on, and she was probably oblivious.
Yeah, it's
like, oh, that sucks.
It does. Like when I would do like my faux hawk and it would get hot, it would start to like curl, and then it would just like get sad and fall over. Like awesome. So I've spent like a lot of time, and I'm still not like the best. Like my hair is still kind of.
But you're a rock star at makeup.
But it's because I watch a lot of YouTube and TikTok and Pinterest on it. But yeah, I do, and I wash mine probably like I don't know every other day. Otherwise, mine gets like weird.
Well, you also have short hair too.
Yeah.
So
even when it was long though, I would wash it about that. Just,
oh really?
Yeah, I don't know. But I have like a specific like curl shampoo that I use, a specific like curl conditioner that I use. And honestly, every once in a while, I'll throw in like Head and Shoulders first, just for like scalp treatment, and then I'll follow it with the curl shampoo and conditioner, or sometimes just a curl conditioner. But the Head and Shoulders is nice. Like it's supposed to help with like growth and like.
That's what I do
just
now.
Standard,
Is strictly
yeah.
just Head and Shoulders.
Yeah.
I do it once a month.
It's definitely underrated, I feel like. So don't be embarrassed if you use Head and Shoulders. Like, it is actually, like, pretty legit. Like, good shampoo.
That's the only shampoo that I use now.
Well, it helps to minimize, like, that bacteria growth that can lead to dandruff, too. The fungal buildup that can happen.
I would recommend Head and
Selsun
Shoulders.
Blue is another one that you could do. I had to use Selsun. So I had this weird rash, I don't know, like, last year. And the thing that ended up curing it was Selsun Blue.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I just used it as in place of my body wash.
Oh, nice.
I don't know, maybe about a week, and it was gone. I'm like, all this time?
Yeah. And then I use different serums and oil, too. A lot of mine are, like, obviously, like, curl specific. But I have one that's by, I think it's, can I remember it's Mr. and Mrs. or just Mr. Smith. I like that brand a lot. I use that one and the, starts with a K.
Kristen?
Kenra?
No.
Because I use
All I can
Kristen.
think of is Calvin
Michael
Klein.
Kors?
No, all I can think of is Calvin Klein, and that is just not it.
Yeah,
I'll figure it out as we go on, and I'll just randomly scroll pop in there.
My girls like the It's a 10 spray.
Big 10?
I think it's
That's
called
what I
It's
have
a 10.
now. I'm going to give that one a whirl.
I used to be team, oh my gosh, now I can't even think of the name.
Kevin Murphy.
Yeah, that's what I meant. What did I say?
Michael Kors.
Oh, that's a purse.
Oh, that's a person.
That's what I meant, though. It's what they have. Yeah, that's what I meant. That's a purse.
I don't know who that is.
That is honestly what I meant, though. I like their dry shampoo.
Yeah. But I have a dry and a wet different serums that I use, and I use mine same. I'll do, depending on like what my hair is doing, sometimes I'll do like you do, or I'll do like a general like scalp massage, and then, because I have curly hair, I just finger through mine, and I have to like flip my head upside down. I'm like actually doing that, you guys can see me. Like I'll flip my head upside down, take a towel, and like dry.
Like scrunch it? Yep.
Because that was another thing I was doing, is I was taking the towel and just like super rubbing it like that, you know. I'll take your towel and just like rubbing the crap out of your head to dry it.
I don't do
and
that
that makes
either.
it super frizzy. Yeah, it breaks it. So the flip for curly hair and then the dry scrunch helped, and then
that's kind of what I do. Kind of.
And then I just finger through it.
No, I might just like scrunch mine down.
That's what I do.
But again, I have short and curly, so
mine is so tangly. Like I have to section it in like 3 different like bottom, middle, top.
Seriously?
It is so tangly. It
I
becomes like
finer,
it's fine.
maybe?
It becomes very fragile. But then
so
once
you
it's
probably
dry,
brush your hair a lot, don't you?
I try not to because of the breakage.
Yeah.
That's
what I was wondering.
Serums or oils or anything? Yeah.
Yeah, they seem to like weigh my hair down.
Oh yeah, see that's
and I
the
don't notice like a huge improvement.
That's what keeps my like curls like glossy and not like crunchy jelly, and then that keeps them from getting frizzy. So I like that. And then it keeps my scalp from being super dry too.
I mean, really, at the end of the day, you guys probably just need to drink some more water. Like it's kind of like your grass, you know.
And
if
like
you
water
don't, if you don't,
sleep.
yeah, if you don't water your
to be
grass,
fair,
it's gonna be crunchy.
I have healthy hair, and I don't drink
Survive on Mountain Dew.
water. He Monsters and Mountain Dew. Diet Mountain Dew.
Okay, so
general other hair tips, so you can say, like we said, water will help with like skin, hair, complexion, all of that.
protein,
Your
microvitamins,
yes,
like the micronutrients.
Yep. Obviously good nutrition. Like if you're eating super greasy, nasty, dirty food, that grossness has to come out somewhere. It comes out through your skin. So you've noticed you have like bad skin issues. A lot of that can be traced back to like gut and your diet. So that'll help make a big difference.
Stress.
Stress.
Like if your body's under stress, your body's not going to prioritize hair growth. It's going to be working on managing
even
stress
skin
or like
too.
sickness too.
Yeah, sleep makes a big difference. Literally, it all comes down to like we said, like your basics. Like if you're not doing your foundational stuff, your diet, your sleep, your stress management, your water intake, your
Doesn't matter
body.
what
It
product
doesn't matter what
you
product.
use.
Doesn't matter what routine. Yeah, like you're can reflect that. So
You guys
Do the
missed one
basics.
important thing.
creatine.
Well, that too. Don't color your fucking hair.
That is true.
Yeah,
Like
dyeing
damage
your hair,
control.
like chronic.
Mhm.
Yeah, chronic. And again, same thing. Even if you
Which
use
is why I'm taking a break.
whole bunch of products, yeah, eventually, yeah, like
Mhm.
Duncan, like you're gonna
Mhm.
with anything, your body's just needs a break sometimes to let it
And
heal
bleaching
and reset.
dries your hair. Makes it so.
Mhm. The light
Yeah.
colors, yeah.
And I used to get away with it. Like I notorious, like every 12 weeks got my hair highlighted. And I'm like, I can't do that or it will just snap off.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
just a little
Time
bit.
for a break.
Because you're losing the proteins in your hair.
Yep. So
Your hair needs protein.
it's all natural for now.
Oh, natural. And I'll just never have natural gray hair and come to
I
terms
think you
with
should
it.
grow yours out sometime.
I'm growing the top section out, so like what, and you can't see it because it's all weird, but like this part is still short. So like the sides down, I have like a reverse balding thing going on. So you think like your classic like principal balding, I have that, but
Like
where
balding on top, you're
but where
balding
it's
on
bald,
the bottom.
but where it's bald on top, I'll have long hair, but I'll still have like that short little like half donut on the
Okay.
bottom. That makes sense. I'm going for like female warrior man bun situation. That's what I'm
Okay.
going for. We'll see.
Female warrior bun.
Man bun situation. Cause I like the man bun look, but like
Oh
on a
God,
girl.
we are totally different on that.
But like that cut, but like on a girl. I like that. Where it's like I
The
guess
cut,
almost
yes.
almost like
But
an
the man bun thing, that's gotta go. That's gotta go.
It's almost like an undercut or an undershave.
So you could see like you at some point doing an under. Like I've seen women like with
The
really
grow-
thick hair.
The grow out
They'll shave
sucks.
the bottom.
Yeah.
I have
Because
done that.
just
Heat
just
control.
for like heat control or like putting your hair in a ponytail because it was
Yeah.
so much
Mhm.
ponytail.
But even like
Yeah, I've
right
done
now,
that.
I'm in the grow out phase, and that's what's.
Oh,
rough.
girl, that grow out phase was
Yeah.
rough for me.
But I
Oof.
can at least, it's long enough now where I can at least braid it, which also, fun fact, my lady that braids my hair told me this, that is one of the better ways to create and help hair growth is keeping it in braids,
Loose braids.
loose braids.
Right.
Mhm.
I do very, very tight braids because I keep mine in for a long time.
Because I think it's reverse if you wear tight braids too much or like any tight hairstyle, it can cause breakage
Mhm.
Yeah.
and pulling of hair.
It's when I take mine out, because, and like, obviously, like, I wash it and stuff, but I'll have mine in from, like, anywhere to, like, 4 to 5 weeks. I am washing my hair. It's a whole, I wash it, and then I have, like, a special, like braid
Like
wax,
braid, yeah.
wax stuff, and then I have, like, spray I'll put in between washes and oils and all that stuff that I use. But when I take them out, like, there's, like, a small creature on my shower wall.
I taught
Probably.
nursing.
Sometimes I leave it in there for my husband to find. It's a fun game I like to play.
Oh, Chris would kill. He hates
He
wet
gets
hair.
so
Like
mad.
he gags. He can't do it. Something about even dry hair. Like if there's one little strand of hair on him, he will just freak out. He'd be like,
Get him out.
he doesn't like hair, which makes me so thankful that he manscapes, he shaves, he does everything. I wax his nose. It's great. It's great.
I taught nursing clinicals for years, and there was a period of time in there where about 50% of my clinical groups were from Kenya because they were coming over from Kenya, and then most of them are residing in Minnesota, and this was back in like 2015,
Okay.
14 to 18 range.
Okay.
And so then they would carpool to the college. Anyway, so I would get a group that was majority Kenya students because they would have to carpool. And I learned so much about them, but this made me think of multiple students had like the dreads or, the tight braids. And there was this one student, and she was always like just patting her head.
So you itch.
Itches.
Yeah, she'd be talking and she'd be like patting, and finally, I can't remember her name now. I was like, why you do that? And she's like, oh man, this is how I itch my head.
Yeah.
But it's almost
Typical
like it
white
became,
girl question. Why are you doing that?
Why are you doing that? And but she told me, that's how she itched. But it's almost like it became a tick though,
Oh,
because
yeah.
there were times where she'd just be talking, and she would just do like a quick tap, and I remember thinking like, is she nervous? Or was that actually an itch? Because otherwise, her head is really itching a lot.
Mhm.
Yeah.
She was constantly tapping.
Yeah, or like soap bonnets. Wear soap bonnets.
Oh,
and
I
soap
wear one of
sheets.
those to bed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Super.
that's
super,
how you itch tattoos. Sit there.
just tap.
Mm-hmm.
and wearing a silk bonnet. I'm always like, wow, this is really a sexy night attire. But it has really helped.
Has it? I've never used one.
Like tangled and
yeah.
Because I would wake up in the morning, just hair's tangled. I tried like a high ponytail. Yeah, so bonnets work well.
Yeah, I've never used one.
How do you wear your hair at night? You just down? Don't you lay on it?
No, I like twist
top
and
knot?
flip, so it's like above my head.
And then you just don't move all night?
I move, and my hair just stays put.
Huh.
In the silk bonnet?
No.
Oh.
I do a silk bonnet.
No, I just let my hair free fall.
Yeah,
So I
helps with,
like lay
breakage and
down,
stuff,
but
the
then I like
silk.
twist and flip to where it's above me.
Oh. I move around way too much when I sleep for that.
I know, that's why I asked him, like, so you don't move.
Oh, I'm a definite squirmer for sure, but no, my hair doesn't move because like I'll sleep on my side and then I'll roll to where my face is up and then I roll to the other side so my hair just stays put.
That makes me think of like a sleep apnea machine when the cord's like on their head and it doesn't matter.
There you
which
go.
way they turn.
Think about it like that.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was just the visual I got.
Oh.
You know, that's
Yeah.
how I move. Yeah.
Interesting.
Where's this coffee at?
It's upstairs. We'll get it between episodes.
Oh, okay. Well,
I don't trust the now 5-year-old because it's her birthday today.
Oh yeah, it is. It is.
I
Isn't
don't.
it?
I don't trust her to bring it down the stairs.
Oh, okay.
One at a time.
You have so much more faith. I've just seen what happens when I trust that situation, and then you have coffee everywhere, and it's never good. But what everyone came here today to talk about titties.
Yee. I love boobs.
So you guys both have implants.
Mm-hmm.
I do not. I don't have any interest in. If I could actually have reverse, if I could just have itty bitty A's,
See, that's
my
so
life would
strange
be
to me.
so happy.
See, but a lot of times when you have boobs, you don't want them. When you don't have boobs, you want them.
Right, because I can remember being, like, we're talking, like, I would say probably middle school, and, no, younger than that, probably like 3rd grade, because I remember my grandma, who has now passed away, I remember she bought me some bras, like these tiny, think like the little
Training
the
bras.
little, yeah, and I remember
Yep.
I was so excited, and when I put them on, they were so big, and so, granted, I'm in like 3rd grade, and
Yeah.
I remember, my mom probably doesn't remember this conversation, but I remember her saying something along the lines of like, when you're in 4th grade, you can wear those. And then, so I'm like, in 4th grade, and I put them on, they're too big. And so I don't know what it was, but I can remember always really wanting, and then, because I can also remember thinking, is that normal? Like, I'm this young, like, you're underdeveloped, and I remember seeing other, girls around me developing, and that just never happened for me. And I remember just, I wasn't self-conscious about it back then. I just remember, like, I really wanted boobs back then. And then, then you have babies, and I remember, when you get pregnant, a lot of times you get breast growth, and I was like, yes, yes, they're here. And I don't know, I felt so feminine, like, everything about pregnancy I loved anyway. We talked about that in another episode. But then on top of it, I finally had breasts that I was like, I felt so feminine.
Yeah.
Because on top of that, then I was muscular, I lifted weights, and so I just naturally didn't have, like, any. And then I breastfed both girls for over a year, and I tell you what, like, after the last one, they looked like flabs of skin. And that's when I became self-conscious about it.
Yeah.
Because now, at least before,
It just kind of took everything out of you.
it did. Any little that there was, it was gone and replaced with, like, this flabby skin. Like,
sad boobies.
I didn't even know that your breast could do that.
Yeah.
And so I got them done back in, like, 2013. And this was way before competing even. So back then, it was, like, very much like for me. It was not for a sport. It was not for a partner. It was not because I wanted to look like someone else. It was, I wanted to just feel feminine. And I knew what that felt like because of, the babies. And it was, and I remember when I was trying to think about the size, all I told the surgeon was, I want them to look exactly like they do now because I was so used to wearing the, like, Victoria's Secret add 2 cup size.
Yeah.
So, like, that's what I always wore. So, like, unless you were seeing them without the bra, like, you would think that they were there. And so that's how I picked my size. Best thing I ever did. I felt there was a stigma. I never told anybody. I think at the time, like obviously my husband knew. I think I did end up telling my mom right before surgery because I was like, heaven forbid something happens to me. Like, I want my mom to know.
Yeah.
And a close friend at the time, but then that was it. I didn't tell anyone for years. Didn't tell my daughters. I think it was pretty obvious when I got into competing because of how lean you get that, okay, that's a clear
those are not leaning out.
Yeah. And then I did get, if you want to call it an upgrade, back in 2023 when I was done competing because especially during my figure years, I did a lot of chest work, and I know you do a lot of chest work, Nelson, but for me, the chest work like completely spaced them out, and I had one side that was
which
like
is very common,
falling off the armpit. So back in 23, I did get that fixed, but I kept the size the same. It was purely just a implant exchange, and then the placement put them back where they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
So, I remember I struggled a little bit, like wondering, is this something I share with the girls? Do I not? Is it vain? And I tell you what, like, as I get older, I don't care if it's vain. Because if you feel a certain way, that will impact your entire... Yeah. And just because it's not someone else's decision doesn't mean it's right or wrong. And I remember struggling because someone said, like, just be grateful for what God gave you, you know. And I am super grateful. Of course I'm grateful. But I don't feel bad for doing that.
As you shouldn't.
Right.
With as much enhancements as not only women, but men as well.
Right.
Like, you see all these botched up looking faces out there who look like sucker fishes. I'm like, ew.
Right.
What surgeon allowed this to happen? Because they should not be a fucking surgeon.
And I think in our small rural community, you know, people get it done, just nobody talks about it.
Yeah.
But you go to a city or you go, I mean, anywhere now. I mean, I can't tell you the amount of people when we travel that I talk to, and you can pick them out too. You're like, you've got boobs, you've got boobs, you've got boobs, you've got boobs, you got way too much boobs. You like, you know,
yeah.
So I think, and that goes with the size too. I think what a person decides, whether they like really the obvious enhanced look, like very round and separated, or they want more of a natural soft look, who cares? Like I think we need to get away from like, you know,
tearing
constantly
everybody down,
tearing each other apart.
Well, it's almost like kind of circling back, like when we're talking like the hair and extensions. I mean, at the end of the day, if it's something that's going to make you feel better about yourself, you know, I don't know. I don't think it should matter what anyone else thinks. Like if you, like you said, if you struggled with, I never had boobs, something I've always wanted, and they're gonna make me feel more feminine, and you can get on whatever feminine roller coaster you want to get on, and boobs don't make you feminine, and blah blah blah. But it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, this makes you feel good about your body and yourself, and it's not because I want to make XYZ your husband or dad at the fucking soccer game have a boner. No, like
Did you just cuss?
I do.
Oh
I do.
man! But I think this is the first time you cussed on the podcast. Holy shit!
Maybe.
Am I rubbing off on you guys? Sweet.
No, I don't know. Well, you know what I mean? Like,
Sadie's getting riled up.
But no, that's what, because everyone thinks like, because you're doing because you want attention. No, I want to feel good about my body, and you know, you guys work really hard to look a certain way, and if that's gonna make you feel even better about, especially all the hard work and stuff, then
just like some women don't want breasts at all. You know, like you were talking.
Yeah,
about
like I'm on the opposite, and like towards the end of prep when I have like nothing, I'm like, this is the best thing ever. I'm like, I can just wear a shirt, and I'm like, they'll never know. You know, I'm like, maybe I have a bra on, maybe I don't.
Fuck, I never wore bras.
You know, I do hate though that breasts have become so sexualized. I think that's annoying.
I mean, I kind of like it though, because I love boobs. I do. When I see a good pair, I'm like, I gotta squeeze it.
Okay, so tell us about yours then. And like kind of your like reasoning and when you got them, and kind of like how you decided on your placement or size.
Sure.
And I won't say like my size, because what I have found talking to other women, because once you find out that someone has them, it becomes natural in conversation.
Like,
what
how much
I
you
have
put
found
Mm-hmm.
is that the amount of cc's that you choose, it's so irrelevant because it really matters how much breast tissue you had to begin with. So someone could only have like a 200 implant and they now have like double D cups, and then someone else may have gotten like a 500 implant and they're still sitting at like a C cup.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So so that's why like I'm not going to share the cc's because
And your body shape and structure and all matters too.
Yeah.
and how much muscle like
Mm-hmm.
covers, and if you go over the muscle versus under.
Did you go over or under?
So I went under, and my reasoning was because as you age, obviously gravity takes over, and you do lose skin elasticity, and so the muscle does help to support the weight and gravity as you age.
And it also looks more natural too,
I
especially
think-
being in the
I
competitive
think too,
world.
right? Because you're
You
under the
know
muscle.
who has over because it
Yeah.
looks like two little balls just boop boop.
And even someone who's relatively lean now, like myself now, and I don't have, even when I've gained weight, I've never been one to like gain breast tissue. So like, and when
That's
you see
where I
pictures
gain.
of me, you can see like, my collarbone, you can see like my sternum.
Yeah.
And so for me, even though I did under the muscle, there's different times throughout, my life where you can see such a clear, and that's even being under the muscle.
Yeah.
And sometimes I get some rippling, which that gets frustrating. It's just annoying to me. But part of that's just the leanness. Like if there was more tissue there, you wouldn't
Yeah.
see that rippling. So that's just something that
I mean, I know
there's
what could
pros
help
and
with
cons.
that.
What?
Said I know what could help with that.
Fat distribution.
Chest day.
Oh, just that's the answer for everything. See, I'm scared to do because of the first time around. All the chest
Well, I don't
work
think you should
did.
do like flat, like anything flat.
Oh, yeah, more
because
of an
obviously when
incline.
you're flat,
Mhm.
they're gonna come off to the
And
side.
even when I would do chest, I
Even like
always do
cables.
incline.
I mean, fuck, you can do cables.
I was.
Cable flies.
I was doing that for a bit.
Chest day is the best day. I love a good chest day.
Okay, tell us about your.
So my curiosity spiked when I was working at Hooters. Yes, I was a Hooter girl for a year before they closed down. It was great. So that's kind of what piqued it. But I had gotten offered to get them done, and Hooters would pay a certain percentage of it, which
Wow, I didn't know they did that.
Mhm.
Makes sense.
yeah, they would pay a certain percentage of it. So I did a consultation, but I was terrified to go under because I've never been under anesthesia before, and I hate knives. I have a thing about knives. I don't know.
So some of my spicy books would not be up your alley.
Well, I mean, it depends. It's
Wait,
not
wait,
actually
I can be
happening
talked
to
into it.
me. I did buy the Den of Vipers.
Woof.
Uh-huh.
That's well. All right, you're gonna learn to like it then, because
Yeah,
that's a
probably.
solid portion of that book.
Uh-huh. I'm okay with it.
Anyway.
We'll see.
We'll find out about these books after we're done here.
Oh my.
Oh, see, I'm reading Blossom in Winter. Ooh. It's an 8-book series. Melanie Martin's. It went viral on TikTok. Holy
Okay,
fuck.
I'll get some more info after.
That one whole book shelf up there is, I mean, it's pretty spicy.
Mm-hmm.
Like Jared will read a couple, like, this poor man. He like went to go grab my book and like he opened it the one time. He goes, just literally read
One
a
page.
A page. He goes, what the fuck are you reading? And I said, porn, like a lady.
Yeah.
Like a
Yeah.
lady.
We like to read it. We don't like to watch it.
What if you did audio? That'd be fun for like
So
a road
some
trip.
of my friends do like the audiobooks and stuff, and they're like, it's a whole different thing. And like I've listened to like a few seconds of it, and I'm like, no, because I like to make the voices in my head, and if the audio doesn't match the voice that I
Yeah.
am
That can
thinking,
make or break the
then
book.
it ruins it.
Mhm.
And they're like, and don't get me wrong, their voices are super hot, yes, but it's not the voice that I have, and so I don't like it. And I'm a very like sensory
Imaginative.
person. Yeah.
Well, and sometimes when they say the words out loud, the way they
Then
say
it's
it,
not as hot.
cringy.
I'm like,
Yes.
Or
"Oh,
you're like, oh, that just
Yeah.
made me uncomfortable.
yeah, no.
Yeah.
The majority of my books, I'm like, I don't want to hear it out loud, but
Mm-mm.
I shall read it.
If I want to hear something out
And
loud,
good
I'll
morning, sir.
get on fucking Google and look up porn if I want to hear it.
Yeah, no, I'd rather just read my little smut books in peace.
Yep, same.
And-
It's my time to zone out.
I read like
doctor's books and.
She's just shammingly nodding yes.
It's usually like informative.
I mean, there's a lot of. It's informative.
Yeah, it is.
I don't doubt that.
It makes you realize that you have fetishes that you
Okay.
didn't know you had.
There's some of them you're like, do I like that?
Yep.
No.
Anyway,
Maybe.
while I'm flipping through my hormone books.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Anyway, circling back. Hooters. Who's going to pay a portion, but you're scared to go under the knife.
Yes. So, yeah, I'd never really thought about it until recent years. I think last weekend was year 3. So 3 years ago, I finally decided to
I love that booby birthday.
do it. Happy birthday. Yeah. I got to keep track because 10 years is right around the corner
Okay.
because it's going by fast. This year is just flown by.
Wait, what's at 10 years then?
10 years is like max. You should have them done before you get them done again.
Oh, so that's kind of a myth though,
Is
because
it?
you don't have to. When I was looking into that too, I did, and I asked the surgeon, and actually asked 2 different surgeons. So you don't necessarily have to get them. It's not like an expiration date where it's like you're 10 and you gotta switch them out.
Don't you go by like feel?
Feel the placement.
Because I know somebody I know has had hers done for like 13, 14 years, and she needs to get it because they're hard.
Because you can
Like
start
solid.
developing like a capsular contraction where the scar tissue inside the breast pocket, just over time, it just develops scar tissue, and it can just kind of get stuck and be more at risk for ruptures. And so there's no like expiration where you have to. I think that ends up just kind of being an average of when
people get them redone. Yeah.
Okay, so year 3. So why did you decide to do it? Like, was it Hooters that spiked your interest, or were you just like, gosh, I would love to have
I just
this
love
shape?
boobs. I do. I love boobs. I think they are awesome. And I'm not a lesbian or bisexual by all means. I have
You just
a
like
husband.
the shape, the femininity of
Yes.
it.
So I think it comes with me being artistic.
Okay,
I
can see
love
that. Like, you
drawing
notice the beauty.
the female naked body. Like, I love the shapes, the curves, like that hourglass figure, and from the chest up is my favorite portion. Like, I love drawing like skin. I love skin. So from like the stomach up, when you get down into the leg area for drawing.
These are red flags in a lot of my murder mystery podcasts.
Red flag? Why? Oh,
I'm joking.
oh, so me being a murderer? Okay, yeah.
I love skin.
Yeah.
She's sharing.
Hey, call me Hannibal Lecter. No.
Like, these are a lot of red flags I speak of.
No. I love the nude body. I do. Men, I don't like to draw men.
But I think artists, you hear
Men nudes
that.
are not cute.
No, they're no.
all the same, I feel like.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously they're not all the same, but I feel like there's not a lot of
Variants
curves
and bits.
to them. Right.
Yeah,
Either,
men are
either
very
they're chubby or they're not, or they're muscular or they're not.
well. Men become
Also
very
about bits.
blocky to draw.
Blocky, yeah, that's a good term.
And it's hard to draw men. For me, I can't get into drawing men as much as I can women. And I love the female anatomy with everything, with like the nice toned legs and the glutes and just the curviness of everything. So ultimately that kind of.
So did you have a chest back then?
No.
Okay, so you're probably in my boat minus children.
Yes. So I was lesser than an A, and I was very lopsided. Very lopsided.
So with that, like, I heard too, like, that, and this is just what I was always told, because, like, that's very common.
Yes.
Like,
They're
in natural.
They're sisters, not twins.
Yes,
Yes.
and that when they become, like, lopsided or, like, uneven, that means they're done growing, is always what I was told. Like,
I
as
don't
you're
think I was done
As
growing.
you're, like, mature. I never grew.
When I was younger.
I never got to that point.
Yeah. I mean, when I was younger, I was very, very lopsided. So your heart drives more on the left side. So what I was told, and I didn't do research, and correct me if I'm wrong if you know this, the left side is typically always smaller than the right side because the heart is over on that side?
Part of that is you're dominant. Most people are dominant on the right side, so that muscle on the right is going to be tighter. And this is even after implants. Sometimes someone will say like, "Oh, my dominant side is sitting up higher," and they get concerned because it's not settling like it should. Well, part of that can be because your dominant side, that muscle's going to be tighter, therefore it's going to hold it up higher.
That makes sense. Okay.
And especially someone as muscular as you probably were growing up, from an early age.
I wasn't muscular. I was chunky.
Well, then,
but I was always athletic, though. I was
Yeah.
a skinny fat. I would say that, skinny fat.
But I think some people, and I didn't really realize that until, some
It's
stuff
like,
with...
it's super common, and I think it's one of those things, like, I mean, like, me personally, like, women are very, like, self-conscious and, like, it's like don't look like they're, they're not perfect, they're obviously different sized, and...
Yeah. That's why a surgeon told me two things that really, like, resonated with me, is they're sisters, not twins, and I was like, oh, okay. And then the other thing is sometimes the enemy of good is better. And what that just means is, like, in the pursuit of trying to fix something, whether it's an imperfection or something that bothers you, just keep in mind that sometimes, what you think is going to be better ends up being worse. So therefore, sometimes the
kind of going down that rabbit hole.
The enemy of good is better because you're trying to chase that. So how did you decide what size? Like, did your surgeon help you figure out that, or did you go in with like a picture and say like, I want this look?
Well, yeah, I think I had always had C's in my mind just because I know a lot of women who have C's, and I thought for my physique at the time I had a smaller physique, so C's was perfect for my physique. Now as I'm growing, I'm noticing that it doesn't look proportionately good. So when I go to get them redone, I'm probably going to have to get a bigger size because I do plan on getting fairly big. And it's not going to look good with C's because it's going to look weird.
I think most women, especially in the competing space, because that's where, I feel like we're more open talking about it. I feel like when women have gotten them redone, they tend to go bigger. And a surgeon also told me that one of the like regrets that women usually tell him is that they wish they would have gone bigger.
Really?
So, and I was in that stage where I don't have any regrets about, the size, but I could see that being true. And and like in the competing space, I think you see a lot of bikini competitors definitely get them.
Definitely bikini.
And, just to make this known, you don't have to have
fit model now.
Yeah, you don't have to have implants, but it can change someone's look, because if you are very flat chested, almost like that concave look, it can throw off the look because it throws off that balance of top and bottom.
It does make you look leaner.
Yeah, and again, especially in bikini, just speaking towards that one, because
like,
it is a very and it is a very
aesthetic.
Out of all of them, aesthetic, the most
pageanty.
Of them. So you want that very, very feminine, high like look, where I think you get more like the figure and WPD and stuff like that. You can kind of get away with more of the flat and not as,
But our current Olympian bikini, like, Miss Olympia bikini, Laura Lee, she does not have implants. She's been very open about that, unless she's gotten them since. But I mean, her content, I haven't seen it, but that was something that she's talked about. You know her if you saw her,
probably.
But she has like stuffing, in her suit.
Yeah, you can stuff suits and. There's ways to get around
like
it.
my old bras, I mean, they looked great because of the way the padded was underneath, the little skin that I did have. I mean, with the padding underneath, they would push that to the center, and I mean, I could really look like I had good cleavage, but totally personal opinion. Any regrets that you have?
Absolutely not.
Like, do you wish you would have gone bigger to begin with, or at the time were you happy that you went with the size you did?
I was happy I went with the size that I did, just because my physique was a lot smaller than what it is now. And I don't think it would have been physically possible for me to go up to a D, because I was so tight and chest heavy as far as muscularity went.
Well, in the space of your chest, like if your chest, and I'm just giving like weird numbers here. Let's say your chest is only 12 inches wide, which I'd be really little. After I say that, I'm like, that's a really little chest. You can't fit an implant if you only have 12 inches of workspace.
Yeah.
You can't fit an implant that is 9 and 9 inches because now you're over. I mean, you can, but it'd be like completely out of your.
You would be in severe pain.
Right. So I think if you have a good surgeon, they sit down with you and they measure. They do your measurements and they kind of give you a range of like, here is the most you could do physically on your body, and here, here's the least you would want to do to make it worth your money and your time.
Yeah.
And then here's that range.
Yeah.
I wonder with like, I'd be curious to see, and maybe they do this now. I don't know. How like AI would come into play, because I feel like now you could
think they could do that.
You could, because now you're not having to wonder and guess.
Well, that's what they did at the surgeon's office.
They could literally like have your body, and they could be like, this is what you'll look like with option 1, 2, and 3. Here's literally you and your body. Here's
that's what they did.
Okay, that was more. So they didn't have that technology when I got mine.
Yeah, that's what he took a photo,
awesome.
Front photo, both sides, and then he would essentially do the AI.
That's awesome. I would have been like, show me what an F would look like.
No, I didn't ask for that. Oh God, is that a thing? An F?
I don't know.
That just sounds like
But I think
that. Oh yeah.
I mean, naturally, obviously, like you have like the whole array of alphabets.
I'll have some P's, please.
Yeah. What does a Z look like?
But it just sounds
they call like double D E and triple D F. Like so, like at some like different.
Also, bras that big are expensive. Bras in general are expensive.
I hated buying all new bras that I don't even wear. I never wore bras ever.
I do. Otherwise, I have sadness.
Well, you've also had 2 children. I have had 0 and plan to have 0.
That's why I just want.
I'm also worried about like the heaviness, so I always wear bras because I'm worried about like the weight and gravity. Like I'm trying to defy gravity for as long as I can.
See, I wonder if mine healed the way that it should because I was so chest dominant.
And you probably had more supportive
I'm
tissue
wondering,
to hold them in place in the first place.
See, ladies, this is why I say chest day is best day.
Chest day. And a public service announcement to get your yearly mammograms.
Fuck that.
No, for real. I mean,
I will never get a mammogram or a colonoscopy. You will never see me doing that. Nope.
And then you get
Did you
cancer
know that
and die.
colon cancer...
Everybody dies of something. If cancer's gonna take me out, it'll take me out.
Okay. I
literally just had this conversation with my client this morning.
I need you to hear this on for everybody. Maybe breast cancer is kind of a little different story. Colon cancer. If you find a polyp and it is cancerous, so a polyp is like just a little growth in your colon that during their colonoscopy they can remove it. It's done. It's painless. It's like 30 minutes. I've worked with lots of patients who have done this. The worst part of a colonoscopy is the prep. Just like having to be on the liquid diet.
The clean out.
The clean out, right. The procedure itself is so minimal, but here's the thing. Them just removing that polyp that usually insurance covers, or there's other
See,
things,
I don't have insurance.
But there's other things that you can do to get around that. But just taking that little polyp, which is like no bigger than a skin tag, can literally cure you. And no, for real. Like we've seen, in fact, there was, I don't want to say too much because I don't want to give this away, but
quite a few people I know that have had or have colon cancer, and
we've had some really sad cases where someone they maybe rescheduled their colonoscopy because they got too busy. They put it off because of this. The thing about colon cancers, for the most part, it's pretty slow growing, which is why you can go 5 to 10 years between them. So like if you have more polyps, they'll want to see you at that 3 to 5 year range. But if you have like a complete clean colon, you can go 10 years. So that just tells you like how slow growing. But the thing about colon cancer, it's like, it's so curable, and like not curable, but like preventable, because you can get it before it blows up. Now breast cancer, that's a little different. But yeah, colon cancer to me, if someone was not doing their screening, to me it's ignorance. Like,
Then I am ignorant as fuck.
and that's too bad. But then also think of Chris.
He probably will.
You know,
But that shit doesn't run in my family. And
Well-
I could care less about getting it checked. Honestly. I don't like going to the doctor. I don't have health insurance,
get
and
that.
I just...
But think
I'm
about this:
stubborn
if you get
when it
colon
comes to the
cancer,
doctor.
you are going to be at the doctor a whole lot, whether it's for pain or you lose part of your colon, or now you're having all these issues from the colon cancer itself.
Or you get a colostomy back to take part of it out, and you could have had a polyp removed.
Right.
I'll be fine. I'll save my money.
Because you'll be dead.
Yeah, it's fine.
Because you'll be dead.
Be alright.
I won't hassle you on it, but
Everybody hassles me on it.
but
I
you
refuse to
know,
go to the doctor for
for
shit.
those of you who want, I mean, that just gives you an idea of colon cancer.
So speaking
and then
of
your breast exams.
Speaking of like mammograms and breast exams, so you have implants and you have gone through that. For people that are worried about it or have questions about it, like, can you kind of talk about how that worked or works, or how that kind of goes down?
Yeah, so it just kind of, so it used to be, I want to say the guidelines used to be like 45. I feel like they've changed a lot, but pretty sure now it's 40. So they did lower that. So yeah, so you know, all women, you know, you do your monthly breast self exam. Now the thing about it though is, like, when you're doing it, you want to make sure that you're like doing it in like a routine, you know, the same way every time. A lot of times what's easier is in the shower when things are like slippery and your, you know, fingers can go over a little more easy. Women though, as they get older, it's not uncommon to have like these little lumps and bumps that are sometimes just fibrous tissues, but it still warrants getting them checked out.
Like lipomas.
Nelson's looking at me like,
Meh.
eh.
I'm good.
But then after age 40, unless you have risk factors, then they might want you to do it a little sooner. And for some reason, I was thinking it was 35 even, but I don't think it's 35. I think it's 40. I'd have to check.
I thought something was 35 though. For men, maybe.
Well, they don't
Men
get-
and colonoscopies.
Oh no!
I think that's
for
40.
colonoscopy,
Is it 40?
it's like 45.
40 or 45. Yeah.
Mhm.
I thought
I think it's
something
40
was
It
35.
used to be 50.
Yeah, because that was always like that.
And I
No
think
one,
it was
no one
still
wanted to turn 50 because they had to get a.
Yes, yeah. I think guidelines are still 50 for colonoscopy.
Yeah.
What was
So
35
when-
though?
So when you get a mammogram,
Yeah, with implants, how's that work?
it's really just the same.
They pop.
No, I don't. But I did have to get a mammogram because I had just kind of like a little lump that, you know, through ultrasound you could see it was a lump, and so I had that done. It's just the same. Sometimes they do have to pull things in a little different, and I did hear some of the what they were like the lingo that they were using. I think there's different settings on the machine if you have implants. But as a patient, I don't think you really know that. But like, I was more tuned into what
Their
they
side
were.
of it.
But the placement, I think, is pretty much the same. But they may have to do a couple other additional positional pictures if you have implants, just to make sure they're getting
Nice.
all of the tissue. But I don't think it's any. I've never had one without. But when I've talked to other women, it doesn't sound like it's any worse than what a traditional mammogram. I honestly, across the board, I think most women don't care to have the mammograms because it's a lot of like pulling and squishing and smushing and
Yeah.
hold still while we squeeze and
Yeah.
hold your breath, and you know. So I don't think any woman looks forward to it.
But still definitely doable, and it's not like a issue if you have implants and stuff.
yeah.
Which I think some women are probably.
And there's no
afraid of,
data
or-
out there, to
I'm
my
allergic to
knowledge, that you have any increased risk of breast cancer if you have implants. And it used to be kind of the thought that you should wait to get implants until you're done breastfeeding. But they're, you know, the way they do the surgeries now, you can successfully breastfeed and have implants. But I think that, I don't want to say that as a blanket statement, because it's not to say that you won't have,
Right.
you know, I guess in my mind, if I was contemplating on it and it wasn't like I need to do it right now, I probably would encourage someone to wait until after they were done. Because children, they kind of mess up that region anyway.
Yeah. A
Even
lot
if you don't
changes.
breastfeed,
Yeah.
like your breasts still go through changes. So if you're going to spend the money and the time, and I would encourage someone to just wait until you're done with babies, and then do it after. And then you don't have to worry about, you know, the fear of, is it going to impact breastfeeding or.
Yeah.
I wouldn't breastfeed anyway. This is weird to me. I just
You're
nope.
like, no,
If I don't let
it's
my
fine.
husband do that, no thanks.
Nope, I can
I don't gotta
appreciate
worry about
that.
it anyway. I just weird. Like no, my nipples got. I don't know about you, but my nipples got severely sensitive after I got my implants in.
I don't remember
Like
that.
I don't even like touching my nipples.
You know, they do say that that's a potential adverse reaction. Or
That was
just like a
my
side-
reaction
Yeah,
then.
you know when they give you the list of like all the things that could happen.
Yeah.
Because I know that some women will experience like decreased sensitivity, where
Really?
it's like now they have
That
no
would make
nerve
more
endings.
sense to me is decreased. but-
Oh, mine apparently skyrocketed.
Different.
I can't stand it. Like TMI. I used to allow Chris like to suckle on him. Not anymore.
Don't
no,
even
stay
tell
away.
me.
It hurts. It's not a good sensation for
Yeah,
me.
breastfeeding would be good for you.
Fuck that. I
It
did.
hurts in general.
Even before
Hurts in
that, I
general.
would not. I did no. Nope. Nope.
All right. Well, to kind of wrap up too a little bit for that, some other, I don't know, like aftermarket. I just like to call it aftermarket stuff. Like waxing.
Waxing is fun. I used to wax
You-
myself.
You do your own wax. I pay someone to wax.
I used to pay someone to wax.
Yeah.
I don't think I can bring myself to pull the trigger, aka.
Oh, it's
the wax.
fun.
Nope.
It's great.
But we switched to laser.
And we all did laser at the same time.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I'm a couple weeks ahead of you guys. I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Well,
right.
I think you guys might be like a month before me because I couldn't.
Yeah, because you can go to after Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to be tan and you can't tan
Yeah.
while you're doing it.
I found some.
Okay, so where are you waxing? Because I think that is relevant.
So I do armpits and bits,
Okay.
and then now in my eyebrows,
I
and
thought you
then
were doing your face too.
just
She's
laser for my
lasering
face.
your face.
Oh, you're talking about wax. Okay.
Yeah. And then
Okay.
laser is just
Your
my face.
Okay.
And I feel like it took a few sessions to really notice, in my opinion. And it's not. I noticed a little bit decrease, but what I noticed more is like it's lighter now, and now I'm starting to really notice a decrease in what does come back in between. I feel like is a lot less and a lot lighter. I can still have like a couple like problem spots, but for the most part, I think it's getting better with each session. And it's weird because like I don't know, I feel like sometimes it'll hurt a lot, and the next session it's like
That's how
not as
I
bad.
was just telling her that. I'm like,
Yeah.
I swear I never, because I'm always a little nervous
mm-hmm.
when she starts, and I'll be like, oh my gosh, this isn't bad at all.
And then
the
she'll
next time I'm like,
Yeah, and then she'll hit one spot, and you're like, ah,
I'm sorry about mule kicked you.
yeah, my bad. But I think in the long run, I think the laser will be a lot better because it's a lot less like having to go back.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't like get Sasquatchy in between.
Yes. Where it's like you're either bare
Mm-hmm.
or thick.
Yeah.
Like I feel like the laser helps.
Yeah. And one of my friends did her armpits, and she said it's like the best thing she's ever done.
See, I didn't do my armpits. I kind of wish I would have. But I know, but I feel like they're so. I used to wax them.
Because then like what comes back is like still nothing.
Right. And then the waxing lady, she had a baby, and I just didn't get in the routine of going back. And then at that point, I was already doing the lasering, and I could have had her laser underneath, but at that point, I was like, not necessarily trying to cut costs, but kind of right.
Yeah.
Too
It's
bad it wasn't
definitely
like
a luxury service, for sure.
Yeah.
But
And it never bothered me to shave. It was so quick, you know. So I was like, well, maybe in the future I'll
Go
do
back.
that. But what's your experience been?
Wonderful.
Because you do down below, right?
Yeah.
You don't
I do
your face.
Brazilian, all of it.
Spicy.
Mm-hmm.
It is spicy.
Yeah. She just upped her voltage on me this last time around.
oh yeah, that's a good one.
Like the pulsing one, where it's like more of a.
Yeah, inside the lips. Yeah, that was fucking great. Like after she would do a zap and she'd be like, okay, we can wait a little bit. I'm like, just fucking get it done. She's
Just
like,
go.
really? I'm like, just get it done. She's like, usually people take a break and just go.
The break is awful.
Just get it done. Like she would do one side of the lip, inside the lip, and then she would take a break because the laser would get hot.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd be like, okay. She'd be like, you ready? I'm like, go. and then she just get it all done.
Mm.
And then she started to do around my tattoo, because we're not doing my tattoo area, because I'm tatted down there, and it fucking hurts.
Yeah. When it was like taking it off a little bit, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I mean, which is whatever, but we stopped doing it just because I can wax that area. It's just the upper part of my lady bit area, which is easy to wax. I'll just couple strips and I'm done.
So I do my legs, and okay, for reference.
I thought you were doing your lady bits.
Well, yeah, but I was trying to talk about the opposite body part. Like you talked about your face. Okay, so like feel my bottom legs. They're still a little bumpy.
When did you
but
start?
They're like really.
I haven't shaved for like a week.
What?
Now feel up here.
Do you do up there too? We're all just petting Duncan.
That's
a
difference.
Way different.
Yeah, because the hair down below was darker,
thicker.
So it took the laser different. Now up here it's lighter, so it grows back. But this is like a full week without shaving, so.
Dude, this is like days. What?
Okay, yes.
I shaved last. I don't even know.
We're all just petting each other's legs at this point.
Legs, not lady bits and pits. We're petting the legs.
So I've been happy with like I already knew in my mind like I wasn't ever gonna have like the super smooth because I'm light, and so like the laser, it wants to connect to either the darker or thicker hair. So I already had like realistic expectations, but it has like way minimized the need to shave.
Yeah, worth it for sure.
Yeah,
especially
so
the lady bits.
Well, and
I don't have to do yoga in the shower anymore.
Well, and the ingrown hairs, like I've never had issues with ingrown hairs on legs.
Because that was your biggest like
the Brazilian. That was
the ingrowns and the
so
itchiness.
I also use a thing
God.
called after waxing called TEND skin. So TEND skin.
Okay.
And that makes a big difference on ingrowns. Like huge.
Is it
difference.
like an oil?
No, it's like
that's what I use.
It's something like you use like afterwards, or you could even use it if you just like shave in general too, like armpits and stuff. It's just like a clear solution you put on like a cotton round after the shower, or you can like literally you can do it whenever. I put on a cotton round and then I just swipe. It's a little stingy if it's super fresh, but it's made a huge difference in ingrowns.
I know they said exfoliation too. So whenever I would get waxed, not by this gal, but when I would go to a place in Des Moines, she'd always say like, "Now make sure you're exfoliating because if you get the dry skin, it'll clog the hair the follicles."
I always exfoliate first and then
I think that did help.
Shave and then I'll do my oil.
But I'm like ingrown hair free now, and it's nice. Yeah,
down
below I've
itchy.
been super happy with.
I have been too.
I can't. Because I'm not probably as tough as you are, the contact probably isn't the best on the sides. So I'm probably not getting the best results out of that I could.
Like the side of like outside side lip?
Yeah.
What do you,
Like everything like down in your undercarriage.
Yeah. The spicy area.
The spicy
the gooch.
Yeah. Like I have a really hard time, even if I'm like, I can bear the pain. It's like I'm so jerky. And my reflexes, and so
take a breath before.
I've tried like,
sometimes it's just like an involuntary. Like I do that like with my face. I'm like, I am so sorry. Like I'm trying really hard, and my body's like, absolutely not.
And mine does the same thing. Like my behind area, I almost donkey kicked the shit out of her one time. I'm like, if her face would have been down there, I would have knocked her out.
And then it's like the more that you're hypersensitive, the more
you get more nervous and like talk. Yeah, for sure. But
but no regrets. Like, and especially if you can find. And I think our gal is great.
I think I'm glad that we went the route that we did and who we did over like one of the like big places that did it. I
mean,
guess.
Should we say her name? I mean, I don't
guess we
think
can. Yeah, so we go to Kaylee.
At
the mansion. Yeah, same place one of the places we get coffee from. Her coffee's pretty delicious. One of the two places I go in Carroll for coffee. But yeah, I mean she's one where just talking with her compared to the other like commercial place that we all was talking to, she was just like way more knowledgeable and like explained things and just seemed like a better person to
right,
go
like you're
to.
not just part of a factory where you're just like they're just
I just felt
move you through.
Next.
Yeah.
I just felt like she was going to be a lot more like knowledgeable and thorough and just general like better.
I think
And her
all those-
pricing is not bad
Right.
at all. Like very well worth it.
I did waxing at that same place, and I'd also done waxing like at a different place in the city. And when this gal did it, I was just like, oh my gosh, that wasn't even painful. And I still got the same results.
Yeah.
But it was the type, I think it was the technique, it was the type of wax.
Yeah.
The other gal, I would have like skin lifted down below. It was horrible.
Yeah.
But I thought this is just how it is. And
That happened to me before.
yeah.
Like, you know,
It's like a little
what is
skin
it called?
tear.
The
Like a honey wax.
Oh, okay.
So it cools down. They use the same little wax thing, and it cools down, and it fucking hurt. I will never do that shit again, ever.
No, and I go to Shelby for all of my waxing stuff. They're actually opening a spa, which I'm pretty pumped for.
On the east side of town.
Yeah.
Right behind.
Kind of by the animal shelter.
Yeah.
She did the Hub's back one time, and he was really happy.
Yeah,
he would always go to Des Moines, and I think part of that was just he wasn't knowledgeable of anyone around here. Hopefully, he doesn't mind me saying that, but yeah, he was happy with her.
Well, you can't expect men to know that stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Jared used to go and get. He went to somewhere else, but he would go and get his back and chest also. Done, and then it was just again a luxury cost that we chose to cut out. But yeah, I mean, like I said, going to Shelby and stuff, same thing as experience. Like I've gone to other places and it was absolutely horrible for like waxing, and it was like the strip waxing and it's awful. And she does like the hard wax,
yes,
I think.
What this other gal did too.
But she's just very, just her technique and the way she does it, and she's really quick, and it's a lot better experience, and I'm super happy that she was actually one of the ones that recommended going to Kaylee for laser, which I thought was cool because I'm like, well, you're just kind of giving business away from yourself.
Yeah, but like they're managing each other up, and I think that says more about a person than if you go somewhere and all they're doing is bashing on someone else. I feel like that should be a red flag. That if they feel like in order to like build their business up, they have to like crush someone else's.
Yeah. Well, that's what I've always like, kind of like when I go. I think it's gonna be the Cove.
The Cove,
spa. Yeah. But I mean, they're always like very supportive of everyone else. They have recommendations for everyone else. Like they're just generally really good business people, and I think they've got a good idea in spa. And it'll be exciting. But yeah, so waxing, lasering. I don't know, fake titties.
I love fake boobs so much.
But yeah, so I mean, hopefully that was kind of like just a fun little girl chat.
Random stuff,
Answer some questions about implants people have.
I know, and I was kind of nervous to like talk about it. I told you guys a little bit ahead of time, because like I said, I've never really come out and like said it, but I think most people probably know because they see in pictures, from competing days, and they're like, okay, that's pretty obvious. But
first of all, it's nobody else's business but your own.
But I think living in a small community, having daughters, just like all the things, I think I had convinced myself that it's this like taboo thing.
Yeah.
And everybody's going to have their own opinion regardless of what you do. And I think I'm just to a space where I don't care anymore. And I'm not the first or only person to ever have breast implants. Now I will say kind of what I was saying earlier. I am learning to, there's not always something to be fixed, and so I think sometimes you have to take a step back and just be grateful for what you have, and but it doesn't mean that you can't enhance some things. You are perfect just the way you are, but girl, if you want to enhance some things, like
Go
you
for
should
it.
be able to do that and not feel ashamed. And like with my daughters, I have always told them, like, you do what makes you feel good, and that's not for me to decide. That's not for your future spouse to decide,
or
your friends.
Don't
do drugs. Don't do drugs.
But it's like have the right reason. Especially something like that. Like that's a big surgery. It is a long
and do your
healing
research
and recovery. Yes, do your research.
Like figure out your why,
Yes.
and then do your research so that if you are choosing to do something that is, surgical procedure or something that's more risky to your body, it's really important to do your research, weigh your pros and cons. There's the financial aspect, there's the recovery. Like,
it
how
took
does
me
recovery...
10 years to decide if I wanted to get my breast implants.
And implants change in 10 years. The technique, the material. And then you also have to look at recovery. How's that going to impact your job? Or
that sucked. Couldn't do
your
chest
training.
day.
Right. Like, and some people, like, they're not okay with that. And if you're not okay with taking some time off from training, then you probably shouldn't get the procedure. Or maybe you have small children at home and you have to be able to pick them up. Like, you probably might, unless you have good support and help at home, you might want to wait. So there's a lot of things that I think...
A lot of variables.
It's not a minor decision.
Yeah.
So, so with that...
I'm all for enhancements. Personally.
Except
I like boobies. Huh?
Except glutes.
Except glutes, yeah.
But I don't, in the same thing, you know what? If you want to get I'm not going to.
Yeah, by all means.
You do you, but don't step on that stage and try to compete with the rest of the women who have put in the work.
Yes.
And now you walk on with your pillows. And,
And
that's where I have to draw the line. Like, do it if you want to look a certain way or feel a certain way, but don't compete and think you're going to do well.
Judges can see that
they
shit.
Can.
Like
so
I said,
obvious.
that gal from a couple weeks ago, she got docked. It's
and good
easily
for the
noticeable.
Yeah.
It's so noticeable.
And good for the judges for sticking to that and being like, we are not going to award that.
Good.
Which is also what happened at the Olympia. So.
Yep. Yeah. They know. They can tell. It's heck, I could tell. It was easily detectable. And again, I've never seen a good pair, so I'm not for that.
So
personally,
my spicy creature is awake.
Oh, well, that's good timing then.
Good timing.
Yeah, it is.
But all right, we got coffee waiting upstairs.
Oh, I forgot.
I didn't.
Yes.
I thought about going up there and grabbing it real quick. Been like, deuces, guys, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get coffee.
I surprised myself.
So, all right, with that was our aftermarket titty talk.
Aftermarket, yeah.
Aftermarket titty talk.
Black market advice.
Do you ever like grab yours?
No.
Just you don't? Oh, I constantly grab my. I'm constantly like sitting here. I have an unhealthy obsession with implants. I don't know what it is.
We're just different. It's all right. It's all right. But no,
I'm a grabber.
Here I am. I'm like, if you could just be gone.
I mean, I'll take. We can
Be gone.
implant yours into mine.
My friend Jess tells that all the time. I'm like, I'm just gonna give them to you. You can have them.
I wonder if they do that.
So you go just now. I don't know.
I'm gonna get.
It's just fat.
Yeah.
Look, if you can take fat out of your belly and put it in your face, I feel like you can take
can't,
fat.
but it's your own tissue. So
I don't
your body wouldn't try to reject it.
I don't feel like I need your negativity
then,
in this space.
Because some people, if they have implants or anything, their body may try to.
It can happen.
Yes. I know. I'm still like in the science part.
I don't need your negative logic. Let me donate my boobies.
Yeah. Dang it. I could go for bigger ones.
Anyway.
Yeah, well, with that being said.
Sorry to GoFundMe.
Hey, there you go.
Oh my gosh. Alright.
Well,
go fund my
This
titties.
is fun.
Yes, gosh. Well, we finally had an episode with all three of us back again.
This is what happened.
This is what happened. We started out with helium and ended up with
no
GoFundMe
coffee.
Transfer of.
Yeah.
Okay, so next time.
Next time, I think we're going to try and shoot for some peptides.
Okay, yes.
At least just to kind of, because there's so
intro,
much with them.
Yeah.
Just like a brief, more than what Duncan, you and I did the other
Where we just kind of
episode. Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of like a brief kind of intro into them. You know what they are, what they can be used for.
Why would you want to use them?
Yes.
Who can they be beneficial for?
Yes.
And that some tips on like do's and don'ts if you're interested.
Yeah. Yes.
Because they aren't regulated. We want to make that clear. They are not FDA regulated, but I don't always trust the FDA anymore anyway. So it's a whole nother
that's a whole spiral in and of itself.
Well,
Please
we
don't
end
ban
up
us for saying
spiraling
that.
anyway, so.
But,
okay.
Yeah, so that's our goal for next time. So everyone tune in, follow along, subscribe, all that fun stuff. As always, email us DM us if you guys have questions, or grab one of us in person and talk to us. Sometimes our faces might not look like it, but we'll talk to you. Unless we're in the middle of a set.
If I'm hungry.
Or we're hungry. You know, gauge the vibe.
I always
man.
love to talk.
Duncan will always talk to you.
You're very long-winded. And then there's me, who was peopled out this morning.
Yes. All right, anyway.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.